And good. And then is this audio on? Yes. And your green light's on, then we should be good.
My green light's on.
This is already going.
Everything's going. Are we live streaming now?
We are live streaming now.
Hi, Internet. How is the Internet tonight? You guys having a good Wednesday night? Should I say what night it is, or are we supposed to be generic? I don't know. This is only my second podcast ever.
All right, Tyler, we can get started early if you want.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm going to check your audio.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, please go ahead and just start saying hello and stuff, and I'll check your audio that way.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
How's our audio?
How's that audio working out for us?
Is it comfortable where the mics are?
Sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
Is mine in a weird place?
Yeah, just slightly.
Push that out just a little bit, because I get animated and very Italian when I'm talking, so I need to make sure I've got.
Is that better?
I think so. That way I don't have to touch it.
Like stuck, like laying across your lap.
Perfect.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, I think so. Can you glance from back there and just see if everything is going as it should be from behind the cameras?
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
I'm going to check your
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
We're good.
Actually, when you turn towards each other really quick.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Good. All right.
Sometimes if the camera's not set up right, the mic will be in your face.
How about when I lean in as though I were engaged?
Are you feeling engaged?
I feel very engaged and incredibly relaxed.
All right.
Indeed.
Look at this. Look how professional.
Oh my gosh.
Your
cue cards have bling-a-ding-a-ding.
I have shiny silver cue cards.
Everything's so shiny.
You know,
so much. Sorry, I didn't.
Audio's good?
I can hit record anytime.
All right, we can get started.
All right.
You want me to do it?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. This is the Rachael talk show. Tonight, I'm interviewing my friend, Maureen Lombardo. Say hello.
Hi, guys. How are ya? That's rhetorical because they can't answer
They can't answer us.
Okay.
Welcome to the new studio. We're at AZ Pod Studio and Backlight Studios here in Phoenix, Arizona. These are friends of mine from high school, actually, in Utah.
Nice.
You like the new digs?
Awesome. This is a really, really nice studio.
Any place where they can put my face on the wall, I'm happy.
Picture of you.
Thank you. It's a good year. It's a good year.
Yeah. It's a great picture.
Thank you.
And I like how you're using various fonts to your advantage.
Isn't that fun?
I think there's variety and yet cohesion. Yes. I love it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You bet.
Well, Maureen, I wanted to talk about, let's start with, for our listeners and our viewers, how can people reach you and follow you on social media?
Oh, yeah. So Facebook-wise and Instagram-wise, there's Maureen Lombardo, right, for the like the more personal stuff. But I also have Crack Ups Comedy Night, which is my comedy production company, and that's like Crack Ups Comedy Night on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yes, and that's how I know you.
That's right.
Doing shows with you.
Indeed.
And you're so much fun to work with.
We have a lot of fun on our shows. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a great time as far as being a producer of the shows, and you have a great sense of humor, and I actually really enjoy doing your shows. Also, something I mentioned to you when we chatted the other day, it's because you have a great sense of humor. You'd be surprised. A lot of the time, producers aren't as lighthearted, and they're super duper serious.
Right.
And they're really sensitive about everything, but you have like you're just open-minded and a good sense of humor, just a normal person to work with, and it's just fun.
I appreciate that, because like the reason I got into production is because I would be doing shows and I think, gosh, I wish I, knew how long I was going to be up before I came here, or I wish I knew where I was in the lineup. And not saying every show doesn't do that well, but I was just at too many shows where just all that stuff. And I thought, well, Maureen, if you want to do, if you want to stop complaining, do your own thing.
Do it yourself.
So the way I try to approach it is I run it like a business.
Right.
But when we're at the show, that's when it's a party.
Yeah.
Like if the comics come in and they know when they need to be there, when they are in the order, how much time they have, then you can just relax and do your craft.
Sure.
But if you come there and there's all this housekeeping on your mind, it's just not fun.
It's not as
stressful.
Fun. Yeah. And you'd be surprised. I've done comedy for about 10 years. And there are a lot of people that will produce shows and they won't even send you the set list or the lineup, what time to get there. I can't handle it. So I'm,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll message them myself. Like, oh yeah, I was gonna reach out to you. Like, really? Because we have to be there in 3 hours. And what time would you like me to be there? How much time would
Have
you
a
like me to
hint?
do on
Just
stage?
a hint. That would be good.
Oh yeah, I'm the type that I will do a new set. I don't think our clock is running, by the way. I will do a new set for depending on the venue and the show
Yeah.
and whatever you
Yeah.
guys need. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like, hey, what are we doing? And
Yeah.
then another thing I really appreciate about you is you're very generous with the time you give
Yeah.
up and coming comedians.
Yeah.
Like you are one of the few people I've headlined for in your shows in the last couple of years, and I took some time off, and
Mhm.
I didn't headline again until I did your show,
Right.
and
Right.
that
And
really helped
you
me.
rocked it. You
Thank
did. You did.
you.
You did a great job.
Thank
And I
you.
think it's important. Like we all know, right? It's important to be able to do a tight 3 and hit it, get in there,
Sure.
hit it, get out, do a tight 5. Absolutely.
Mhm.
But what I try to do with our show is, have people get up there for 10 minutes, have
Right.
them have a 12-minute. Then, of course, the headliners, much longer.
Sure.
But it's like, and because you've done it for so long, it's a whole other ballgame when you have time to have a rapport with the audience.
Yes.
Tell maybe a longer story with all the callbacks and stuff.
Right.
So I like seeing comics be able to do that.
Mhm.
And I too was out of it for a long time, and I just
Oh, okay.
came back, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Gosh, now it's coming out on 3 years. It goes so fast. But when I first got back, and of course I was doing 3s and 5s, of course. But then when I started to get my legs back and people got to know me again and gave me more time, I was like, oh, that is a totally different, fun experience, and I wanted to give it to comics.
Well, no, and I appreciate that, and I really think it's helped a lot. And my style of comedy is more storytelling. I don't like to do that fast, like constant hit them every 30 seconds with a joke. My style is more like Tom Segura. Do you know Tom Segura? Like
I don't.
He does like storytelling kind
okay.
of. He's or like Sebastian.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the Italian community. We're Italian.
Yeah, right.
I
love Sebastian.
Yeah. So like that's more my style.
Yeah.
And so when I have 3 minutes or 5 minutes, it's just way too fast.
Different. Yeah. So you have to kind of do the
you put on a great show. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
So thank you.
I've enjoyed it.
So I wanted to ask you about some of your comedy started in the West Village of New York City, and I wanted to hear.
That's right.
I wanted to hear what that was like doing comedy there.
That was fun. That was in the early 90s.
Cool.
Right. And the big thing, and I'm sure it's still around. I'm sure it's still rocking it. And it was the Duplex had an open mic, and then there were other bars in Greenwich Village. And you know what's really funny? Full disclosure, I remember one night I went to the Duplex, and I had a really bad night. And I mean, it's like, when you bomb, right?
Yeah.
And
we got a lot of smiles, but it's relatively quiet.
Oh no, it's Greenwich Village. They're not going to spare a smile when you're sucking. I just got a lot of glares. And the thing is, and I cannot say this under oath, but given the time frame and the location, I think Sarah Silverman hated me. And that's like 6 degrees of separation.
Was she in the show? Was she a comedian?
I think she was in the show. I think she was in the audience, and I think she glared at me.
That's really funny.
I'm very proud of that. Yeah,
that's great. I have a lot of comedians that hate me too. So. Yeah, Bobby Lee gave me the double-barreled
I love that.
finger a couple months ago.
Yeah,
and I fist bumped Jay Leno, so I redeemed myself. I feel like.
I think so. Well, you think they say the opposite of love is not hate; it's indifference. So we've evoked feeling.
I did get some feeling from Bobby Lee.
Good. I like it.
Yeah, it was not the feeling I was going for, but there were feelings involved.
There were feelings.
I think that was his charming way of saying hello, though.
Right, it could have been. Yeah. It probably was.
That's kind of a bummer, though. I like Sarah Silverman.
Yeah, no, she was if it was her, she was just a young kid.
Just started
but she was so damn gifted, and she is so damn gifted.
Yeah.
And I was, the funny thing is that and I think that's the difference between folks who, I love comedy. I literally have been doing comedy since my sophomore year in college. So it's been like 36 years now, 37 years, because I'm very old. But if I had
wrap you in bubble wrap.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like the osteos kicking in. But like if I had the voice then that I have now, I probably would have tried to make a living at it.
Sure.
But what I respect so much about the Sarah Silvermans, the Ellen DeGeneres, the Sebastians, they find that voice so young.
Yeah.
That's a level of brilliance I just absolutely respect.
Yes.
You know, it's great.
My biggest regret too is not starting
Yeah.
sooner. I only started 10 years ago.
And the thing is, I did. I mean, I thought about it when I was doing those mics in Greenwich Village. I had a 9-to-5 job. I've always had a 9-to-5
Sure.
job, but I played with the thought because my girlfriend at the time, she, we both had pretty good jobs, and we talked about me quitting my job and trying, and I just didn't have a voice. You know what I mean? And I'd go and I'd have a good set. I'd have an okay set, but I really didn't feel strong with it. And it wasn't at the time, but that's what I'm just saying. So you see some of these young people, they have that voice so early, and that's to be respected.
And it has to be the right time.
Absolutely.
And it's and it's never too late either. There are a lot of people that it's like on their bucket list, and that's kind of what this was for me. It was like I turned 30 and I wanted to just do a one-time thing, and it ended up being something I kept up with, and now I treat it like it's a full-time job, but I love it.
And you should, and you can. You can go full-time in comedy at any age.
Absolutely.
You totally can, and I think that's great.
Yeah, and I'm probably funnier now than I would have been in my 20s anyway.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I think you have life experience and shit like that.
Sure.
And it really helps.
And I cared what people thought too much back then.
Oh God, yeah.
And now I'm just like,
Oh my God, I'm
probably
in my mid-50s, and I just don't have any fucks to give.
You don't.
And it's great.
And you laugh at everything, and I so appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's like, how do people run a comedy show and they're uptight about stuff, and they don't have a sense of humor, and everything offends them? But there are certain things I avoid, sure.
Yeah.
Right? I don't do a lot of religious stuff or politics, because why divide half the room?
Yeah.
But in general, I mean, you sat in my shows. Like, I just joke around normal stuff.
Yeah.
But even the stuff that I joke around about, you'd be surprised, more than half of it people would find offensive somewhere else. I'm
like, sure. Yeah.
My homeless jokes don't hit as well in LA. That's all I'm saying.
Of course.
I just say unsheltered.
Right.
Unsheltered poverty survivors. And then for some reason that will land. And it's like there's an empathy component, I guess. But they don't know that I work with the homeless when I'm on stage, that I used to do that. So
well, that's what I love too. Like, most comics are being rather ironic about their observations, and very likely, like, I love it when, like, Amy Schumer will go off about her time working with special needs folks. She adores special needs folks, and the shit is so funny because it's
it's from your actual experience. That's probably why I joke about it, because
it hits.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. So.
Well, and back to that with you, with your background. So Sarah Silverman's one. Is there anyone else that you have worked with that we might know from like the 80s or 90s in comedy, or anyone that you admire in comedy?
Oh, sure. Not a lot that I've worked with, because I've been more sort of like Phoenix centric. I mean, there's amazing comics in Phoenix I've worked with. Tara Shakespeare and Cricket and and Jason Santiago. I mean, amazing.
All friends of mine. You just named.
All these great folks. And what I feel bad about then is I'm gonna miss names. Like I'm gonna miss. But like
we've got a great scene out here though.
And up and coming stars like Saskia B. Keep that name in mind, because you're gonna hear it a lot.
I saw her last night.
Yeah, and she's competing tomorrow at Stir Crazy, and the funniest person in the universe. So among other people. In fact, there's someone from my workshop in there too. So I'm excited about that. So it's fun to see, because we do a workshop, Crack Ups Comedy.
I was going to ask about that. You have a Monday night workshop. Tell us about that.
And I really love this workshop, because when I first started doing it a year ago, I called it like open mic on steroids, because it's not just like come in, do your 5 minutes, sit down. It's like come in, and everybody does 10 minutes of performance.
That's great.
And it could be, it could be, and I've said to folks, you're going to have the spectrum of people saying, I have a show tomorrow night, this week, whatever, and I'm rehearsing. And it's totally tuned. I'm rehearsing. I'm trying to understand where the laughs are, tune some things. And on the other end of the spectrum, I have some ideas I'm playing with, and I'm gonna talk about them up here, and I'd love some ideas and so forth. And you also have people who have done comedy for 20 years, and comedy that people, it's like their first time getting up on stage. Sure. And that's what I love about it, because you've got that spectrum.
Sure.
But what happens is people will perform for 10 minutes, and then we do 5 minutes of feedback. So, and what I just so enjoy it so much, because it becomes like a comedy writing room. And I will say, when they say like, if you could have had any job, that's the job I should have had when I was a kid. I should have, studied and become a comedy writer. So that's when I get a taste of being a comedy writer, and sitting there and collaborating with folks, and we spitball things. And just like laugh our asses off for 3 hours. It's a blast.
That's awesome.
It's
I
a
need
lot
to
of
do
fun.
that, actually. I need to do one of your workshops because
Mhm.
I have material that I like to tweak and I like to tighten things up
Yeah.
and make room for other things. And
Mhm.
also trying out new material. I've got probably 50, 60 pages of stuff in my phone
Yeah.
over the years I've collected, but haven't really
Sure.
tried out. And that'd
Yeah.
probably be a good time
It's
to
a
do
great
it.
way to try out new material and get feedback from folks of, you know, varying levels of experience.
Mhm.
And just, you know, have that working session. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to do that. It's important to sharpen that saw constantly.
Yes.
You know, so
Well, you have to keep doing that. As I will say this, I've got some friends of mine that have made it really far in comedy, but I notice they're a little comfortable and they have stopped writing new jokes.
yeah, sure.
There's one guy I saw that did an act. I won't say who it was, but he had a joke in his performance about having red hair. This guy's hair was white. So how have you been doing that act? Keely mentioned that. She's all, is he talking about himself? Because his hair is white. I
Yeah.
was like, I think he is.
Yeah, that would be like me still telling jokes about losing my virginity. You know, that ship has sailed.
Has the ship sailed?
It's
Okay.
sailed.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Well, I'm a lesbian. Given
yeah.
given lesbian bed death, I mean, you know, it grows back is what I've found. So that happens.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I feel like that's a
tragic and funny.
That's a great time to ask you on your first date. Is it true that you brought a U-Haul?
I'm
kidding.
Let me say this.
Is that a true?
It is so painfully true. Like, there are certain stereotypes about lesbians that there's a reason they exist. The lesbian bed death, the U-Haul. We have 2 dogs and 2 cats and a pickup truck. I mean, these things come from somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I love it all.
My cousin is a gay man, and it's really funny because he's been with this guy for like, I love Twan. If you're watching, I love you. But he's been with Twan for like 10 years.
Which is 30 and gay.
Yeah, and I think they've been engaged already for 2 or 3. And I'm like, are you close to setting a date? No, we're good. Like, we're just like,
no,
they're gonna be 60 before they get married, if they get married.
No,
like,
if they were lesbians by now, they'd be married and would have adopted like 3 kids.
You would have had children from around the world, one from each country, and it's just a different, and 36 dogs. And
we
cats
roll in a different way. We roll in a different way.
Yeah, I will say though, they are great with the home decor. Some of the great Airbnbs I've stayed in over the years. I'll look at who rents it out, and it's like it's always 2 dudes, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I got the disco ball idea from.
I love the disco balls, and I love that they are of varying sizes.
Right, the Las Vegas Airbnb I stayed in. I mean, it was nice. It looked like this. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, there's disco balls everywhere, and fully stocked liquor cabinet. I like this place, and we're staying here again. I forgot to ask you. So, for people that want to do your workshop on Mondays, do they sign up for that, or how do they reach out to do that?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to do it. We do post on Eventbrite, so you can look it up. And
for the workshop too. Okay.
Yeah, for the workshop, there's an Eventbrite way to reserve your spot, or just come and we always take cash and card. I always say that because not everybody carries a lot of cash, but I have a square. So
and what was your rates again per?
It's like $10.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah, well, and I have a special deal for you because here's what happened. It happens. If you come in and just pay for the session, it's $10. But if you get your punch card, there's 5 punches for $40.
There you go.
If you do the math, that's a free class.
That's awesome.
That's right.
And then so you're listed under Crack Ups Comedy.
Crack Ups Comedy Night.
Crack Ups Comedy Night. Got it. And that's what and that's your main social media also for Facebook and Instagram.
It is.
Okay. Good. Oh, what I was going to ask you, that brings me back to you performing. Think back to what was one of your favorite experiences with doing stand-up. Do you have like a favorite show that you did?
Yeah, I do. Where was that? No. I had a blast. Oh my God. So it was last year between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh.
And what happened was Jason Santiago does that Pick Your Punch contest.
Oh, yes.
At House of Comedy.
Yes.
And I won.
Oh, cool.
And so if you win, you get to headline the next Pick Your Punch show.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So I love the House of Comedy.
Yes.
I just love that room and everything.
It's a great room.
Yeah, and so I went in and to headline that night, and it was just a night where it was like everything hit. It was
I
just
love
so much fun, and I got to play with the audience a little bit. And I'm not a big
I love
one
that.
for crowd work. I love I like crowd work.
I'm easing
respect
into
crowd
it.
work. It's not something that comes as naturally to
No.
me as like a Jason Santiago. But I was able to work some of that in,
That's
and I
cool.
just and it was like what we were talking about. I had, I think 20, 25 minutes, just how that headlining works. So I
That's
could
great.
play with the audience and tell stories.
Did you
and,
tape it?
you know what? I don't think we did. And I'm really
Oh,
bad about
tape
that.
everything.
I know I should take, because that was a really special night. But
Yes.
yeah, so I've had some experiences. I remember, and another one, back when I was in school, they had this show where I went to Penn State. And if my wife is listening, yes, honey, I was able to work in the conversation that I went to Penn State.
There you go.
Comes up a lot.
Representing
Fight
today.
on state. So anyway, but they did this thing where the college and the community got together and put on a show. So they had acts from the school, from the college, and acts from the neighborhood.
That's fun.
From State College, Pennsylvania. And they asked me to be a co-host on it, and I did a comedy set.
Fun.
And it was really special because like my parents came in to see it.
I love that.
And I did a bunch of jokes that included my dad because he was a real character, which he got a kick out of. And so that was really special, and the show went really well. But here's what was really cool. And I know this is a polarizing name now because it was before the controversy at Penn State. But Joe Paterno was the head coach and winningest coach until things went well. Shit got weird about 10 years ago.
Shit got weird.
Anyway, but before that,
I'm on a sports gal. I hate to tell you, so
that's okay. This will be quick.
I missed the weird. No, you're fine. I missed the weirdness.
Oh, it was horrible. Is
he on the naughty list?
He covered up a naughty that was really
he's not a politician,
inexcusable.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. But before that controversy, he was the guy. And that year, like the year before, Penn State had won the national championship, football national, it was a big deal. So anyway, Joe Paterno came to the show to like sort of kick the show off. It was a big deal that he's cool. Like a local
celebrity,
god, celebrity, celeb, maybe god, sure. So, but what was really cool, like all my friends came to see the show because I was in this show, again before the show they came up to say hi to me, and hand to God, this is what happened. I'm talking to them. Joe Paterno comes up to me to ask a question.
Oh,
and I'm like, sorry guys, Joe needs me. It was so cool. I was flying high on that for a while.
Oh, that's fun.
That plus I had a good set. It was just a really good day.
Oh, that's great. And your family was there.
And the family was there. Huge. I told all these jokes, including my dad, and he got a big tickle out of that. He liked that very much, and
I love that.
So that was fun. That
was
very
fun.
Cool. Yeah.
And is your whole family Italian, or are you?
My father. My father is Italian. Okay. Actually, I should say he's Sicilian.
Same.
Yeah. My grandparents came from Palermo.
That.
My mother was Irish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So as a friend of mine said to me, she told me, a buddy of mine was like, "Oh, so you're too drunk to steal." So thanks for that, Tom. Too drunk to steal. But yeah, nice. My mom was a good Irish woman, and my dad was an Italian. So we know she had 4 kids. So we know for sure. She had sex 4 times. Like that's at least 4 times.
At least 4.
Yeah, my dad tried really hard for about 35 years.
So, that's cute.
Yeah, we know that.
My husband is one of 7, which I feel like they should have turned it into some sort of like musical group. Mm-hmm.
Like
the
Jackson, Von Trapp,
or the Jackson 7,
or the Jackson 7, or the Osmond. Several.
They're cute like that. They all look alike, and they're not Mormon, but you'd think that they were. And I feel like, what is the point of having that large of a family if you're not going to turn it into some sort of conglomerate or money making?
And in modern day, it's the only way really to get around child labor laws.
Exactly.
I mean, if you get them in entertainment, you can get them working. Get them working. Dance monkeys dance.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm
That's
all
what
about
I say.
I feel like I should get on that and start having my own little.
Oh yeah.
Family,
you're little money makers.
Yeah, you know how I feel about sequins. And it's like, well, you're wearing it.
Those outfits from the 70s. I miss it. I miss it.
Oh, the 70s. I wore sequins last night.
That's right. Like you're like
Did you not see my
hours
boots
ago.
for tonight's
I love
episode?
those boots.
I'm bringing back the go-go. I'm just telling you, it's just my style.
Indeed.
Oh, you just went to Europe, actually. Weren't you just in Italy?
Yes, that was an amazing trip. My daughter, my wife, and I flew into Rome.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then we rented a car. And
how was that? Tiny?
Horrible.
Was it?
It was frightening. It was actually
horrible.
And no, it's funny because I have to admit it's crazy to drive in Italy.
Okay.
Even crazier in Sicily, and
Really?
yet everything about it makes sense to me. Like the way they drive, like it was instinctual. It's
really?
like you just there's basic rules. Traffic lights are suggestions. You know.
So the driving in Tijuana.
Yeah, it's like it's a suggestion.
Wow. And
you try really hard not to hit anyone. And you say "bafangul" a lot.
Yes.
This happened. I swear to God, we were in Palermo, and everything's a roundabout. Everything's a goddamn roundabout. And I kid you not, I was in a roundabout, and we're listening to the the nav system. The nav system's like, take the third exit, take the.
Oh wow.
I was on this roundabout, and it said, take the 9th exit. How the fuck are there 9 exits? And I'm like driving, and I ended up taking like the 27th exit because I was like, Jesus,
no.
it was awful. But anyway, so I mean these roundabouts, I call them circles of death.
Yeah.
And so we're in Palermo, and you gotta understand, like it was late. We had driven all the way from Catania, which is a really cool coastal town on the western extreme. We drove almost all the way across the island to the east side, and it's north Palermo. Okay. So it's late, we're tired. I finally get into Palermo, get on one of these goddamn roundabouts. Well, first I have 2 questions for the Sicilians. I love you, you're my people, but what the hell with the 9 exits? And then this one, who the fuck puts a traffic light in the goddamn roundabout?
That's the whole point.
So I missed the traffic light.
Oh no.
I missed it. And
so like mid roundabout, there's a traffic light.
Mid roundabout, there's a traffic light, and I come around, and I almost hit a car, and I stopped
in your tiny rental.
In my rental, and I stopped, and I looked, and it was a police officer.
Of course, it was.
It was a police officer, and I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to get a Sicilian ticket, which that's going to be
at
weird.
Least, who knows what they're.
I thought I'm going to, things are going to get really, really weird. I'm going to be begging this guy to believe me that my grandparents were from Palermo.
Yeah,
and so I look over. I did the. Sorry, smile at him. And this is what he did. This is all he did. He went and kept driving. And I'm like, I am with my people.
That is so
because you know what? I didn't hit anything. So let it go.
It's like move on.
Wow.
Silly
but I
question.
got the baffanable.
That's so weird.
It was awesome.
Silly question. In Italy, what side of the road are you driving on? Is it like here or is it like?
It's like here.
Okay, that's
helpful. Yeah, it's just like.
Is it just England that it's the other side?
I think it's as like England, Australia.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the old colonies, but not Canada.
The wrong people.
The wrong people.
Okay.
Those people.
So Italy's cool.
Yeah, the Irish do it too, but they're drunk. I think they're supposed to be on our side. But in Italy, you're on the same side as the Americans. The only difference is that you're crying and screaming a lot. That's what makes you're in Sicily driving.
That's really scary. Actually, my friend that was on the last episode, he said he was there in a Vespa scooter and he was hit by 3 different people.
Oh my God. Yeah.
No one cared. They're like,
We were in this ancient town called Arice.
Okay.
And we were trying to follow a nav system to get from Arice to Trapani, this whole thing.
That sounds scary.
Well, what happened was the nav system was messing with us. It was wrong. So I'm in this ancient city. I mean, it's like, you're in an ancient city. It wasn't Roman. It wasn't Greek. It was founded by the Phoenicians.
Okay.
Like, that's really old, right?
So we've gone off the grid.
We're off the grid. I didn't even know the Phoenicians were in fucking Sicily.
No,
but
I didn't know that.
They built this city. So all the streets are this wide.
Oh.
And and
are they cobblestone?
They were cobblestone.
Oh yeah.
And there were a lot of
very
ancient walls. And I'm driving, and it should have made me go to the right, but the nav system said to go to the left. I ignored the sign that said Trapani, and I went to the left, and I ended up getting stuck. Like stuck. Like
in mud or
no,
like
in a street,
dead end?
in a street. Like I couldn't go forward because it was too narrow. I couldn't go backwards because that's hard.
Oh, you're probably like in an alley or something.
It wasn't an alley because there were other cars there.
What?
I knew because there were a lot of
Were you
Sicilians.
going into head on, like, were you going into oncoming traffic?
No, because there was no traffic because there was this one little street.
That's
you see,
so weird.
and so I was stuck, and I tried to back up, and I couldn't. And so the locals are all coming out. They're all laughing at me.
Wow.
Now here's the thing: this is Sicily. It's been conquered by the Phoenicians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Germans went through. Everybody's conquered Italy.
Their roads.
When the Sicilians are laughing at you, you know you fucked up.
Yeah,
because we are a
that's pretty
conquered
bad.
people.
Yeah.
You know, so this guy came out, he got
all
us
that
out.
they didn't redo their streets yet.
No, they're not going to redo the streets.
They're like,
horrible.
you adapt. This is what we're doing.
So instead, they just invented these little tiny Vespas that go everywhere.
That's
but
yeah.
that's not. I was.
And
in
how tiny was your rental car?
I was in a Toyota Yaris, so there it looked like a semi truck.
Oh wow!
Like it was
like
a size,
decent size. Car.
It was a decent size because
I
we
thought
had
it was
3
gonna
people
be
luggage.
Like one of those. What are those tiny ones out here? Like those
the little smart car.
They're
yeah.
like it's like a roll cage with a steering wheel.
Yeah. No, this body was not made for a smart car.
Well,
this is not.
And then you got to tie the luggage to the roof.
And I got the luggage, and I've got a child and a wife. And
yeah, you got a whole
you're not going to
thing.
be in the smart car.
No U-Hauls on that vacation. Wow, that's that's fun. You're really hitting it home for me on where I want to go. And
yeah,
where I don't
you
go.
have to go to Sicily though. It was beautiful. The food was amazing. The people are so awesome.
Nice.
It was. I mean, I loved every second of it.
Was the food a lot
the
different than other parts of Italy? Was it more like Mediterranean and more like Greek kind of food, or how does it vary?
That's an interesting question. I mean, it's kind of like it's certainly not as big as the United States,
Sure.
but you know how like different regions have different, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the cuisine in like northern Italy is very different than southern Italy, and then the more you get into Sicily, it's just a lot of seafood based things.
Okay.
Certainly, there's a lot of amazing pastas and cheeses and stuff. But
those are my
lot
favorite
more
words.
seafood. Yeah. The food was amazing. Pastas and cheeses.
Excellent.
Yes, and then I love people who will put the cheeses into the pastry creams like that. It's amazing. It was a lovely place.
It sounds like a great place to have breakfast.
It was, and coffee. Like everything was, and so. We mentioned Crack Up's comedy night, right? And there's 4 partners in Crack Ups. There's me, right? Saskia B, who I mentioned, and then Laura Wheeler and Greg Test, right? Okay. So, and the 4 of us are doing the company. We're having a great time. But I come back from Sicily, and I fell in love with the Nespresso.
Oh, yes.
Right?
We got one for our wedding, one of our wedding gifts. Yeah.
And I had never experienced the Nespresso, but every single Verbo, we used Verbo for the whole trip, had the Nespresso. So I told Laura, I said, oh my God, it was so great. I mean, it was beautiful, and the food was great, and the coffee, oh my God, the coffee. I said,
great.
And I love the Nespresso. And I said, I loved it so much. Every Verbo had a Nespresso. So I got myself a Nespresso. And this was the question from my business partner. My business partner, she said, you took a Nespresso from a Verbo?
No, I got my own.
It's like, I spent $180 on Amazon. I got myself an espresso.
You can't live without
but this is what my business partners think of me.
I have to warn you. I don't know if you've only been home a couple months. You have a hard time getting the little pods for those. You have to go to their little special store because the ones they have at Target are not great.
Yeah,
you gotta buy them online. It's like a plan ahead.
Oh yeah,
we keep running out, and then we put it under the counter because we keep forgetting to have things for it. And you gotta get the right size.
Right, it's a very specific size.
Yeah, we've bought the wrong little pods before, but once you get it down, it is fantastic.
Yeah, and if you find the ones you like, if you find them on Amazon, which I have, you can get them in a day.
Oh,
because if at my house, if I run out of those pods and don't have replacement plan within 24 hours, shit gets weird.
It gets weird. I know, they're very addictive.
Weird. Yeah.
Have you thought about, back to Italy, have you thought about performing there? How do you think that would go?
That's interesting. I mean, unfortunately, I wish I knew Italian. I don't.
So they don't know
speak it.
enough English.
It depends on where you are, and that's where I was going with that. Like if you were, I would say this: if you were in Rome, Florence, Venice, maybe even
very
Palermo,
common.
they're gonna be able to you're gonna be
Okay.
able to do a show.
But you're in Sicily. It's like guys with like donkeys with like baskets of tomatoes kind of thing.
Literally saw that went by in Arice. Like I'm like this place is fantastic.
That's what I'm picturing. Okay.
Yeah. But maybe
Wow.
in the city of Palermo, which is like the fourth largest
Cool.
city in Italy, and it's the
Yeah.
capital of Sicily.
That should be on your list. I think
It could be on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
next time you go.
where I really should do comedy, because I think the language barrier wouldn't be there. But I'd love to do comedy in Ireland,
Oh, how fun!
because I also think my comedy style would fit well with the
Yes.
culture. So
Yes.
that would be fun too.
You do say fuck a lot.
I do. I don't say it a lot when I perform, but I do.
You don't. I know.
I just don't. Just because.
Yeah.
I mean, because look, I look like your favorite aunt.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
me going up
I
on
think
stage.
of you as my favorite aunt.
Yeah, right. Like I'm just saying, and it's funny because in my normal life I say it, but on stage I think I would come across as disingenuous.
Yeah.
Now it's fine if I'm talking about my purple dildo,
Sure.
but just like the F-bombs aren't going to work with when I talk about Jean-Louis. I name my sex toys.
There you go.
I think
That's
you
good.
should. It's a more personal connection.
More personal. Actually, I was given one as a gift. It was like a white elephant gift, and it was from Asia. And what's interesting is they cannot have sex toys that look like sex toys. So they look like other things. And mine looked like an Asian fellow with like a little like a hat.
Oh dear.
And what I did with this is I kept re-gifting it to people because it was hilarious to me that it was like a little Asian man with a little straw pointy hat.
Oh.
And that's what it was.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I think at one
love
point
that.
I think I re-gifted it to my mother, which was horribly inappropriate for Christmas. I thought it was very funny. So,
and now it's in her.
And that's why I'm the comedian.
It's in her powder room, holding
right?
flour.
Seriously. Oh, one thing I like to ask my guests. What is one of the worst jobs you've ever had?
Oh man.
Because we've all worked some interesting places before we ended up where we're at.
Oh wow. That's a great question. I gotta say, when I was, it's always going to be like, for me anyway, it's going to be the job you had in college, right? Like try to pay the bills. But one summer, at the King of Prussia Mall, suburb of Philadelphia, I worked at this hot dog stand.
Oh, it was anything with hot dogs.
Anything with hot dogs, shit's going to get weird. Because I remember one time I was working, and I was coming down with something. I felt feverish. I felt off.
Not a good combo.
No. It was just I was getting a cold or a flu or something, so I wasn't feeling great. And this girl came in, and it's amazing to me. People are gonna buy meat in a tube, which is what a hot dog is, and that
it's
in of
very
itself,
questionable.
If you make that choice, you make that choice, but you're getting meat in a tube,
and you don't know what's really in there.
Well, that's the thing. They come in and suddenly they really care about what's in that tube. Is it all beef? I'm like, I'm sweating profusely because I'm coming down with it, and I'm like, yes. And then like, what about the nitrates? And I just wanted to bitch slap her. I'm like, look,
and you should have.
It's this was like 1989.
with the hot dog.
I'm like, it's $1.29 for this fucking hot dog. Just get your hot dog. Get your soda.
That's really funny.
And get the hell out of my face.
Yeah.
These people. And it was amazing to me. Like, you really care. Like, if you cared, I think you would be having tofu on a salad.
Did you ever see the franchise? I don't know if it's a West Coast thing, but it was hot dog on a stick, and these girls had to wear these really tall hats that were like, I think, yellow and orange and red, and they'd have to make lemonade too.
Oh,
it was
wow.
like a really obnoxious uniform, and they had to pump their own lemonade. It was like a whole thing.
Oh my God.
And I think a lot of girls from my high school worked there at the mall, and it was just a horrible job. And then my first horrible job was at Legoland selling hot dogs. It's
hot dog. It's something.
So why do you start with the hot dog? I don't even eat hot dogs. I hate hot dogs.
Yeah.
And I told this story once before. I got in a fight with the lady that played Jackie from Roseanne. It played Roseanne's sister.
Laurie Metcalf?
Yeah, we got in a fight. Then I didn't work there anymore because she got mad at me because I didn't have a vegan option, and I was not having it.
Again, she's buying, and I am a big fan of her.
It's like, why are you making demands for her toddler?
A hot dog. It's meat in a tube. If you cared about your toddler, bring Cheerios and an apple. What the?
I was like, I can give you a bun. Like, yeah, that was the last day I ended up working there. It was like
my vegan option.
She wanted a vegan option for her toddler, not even for herself. And I'm like, your toddler is not a vegan, and then I didn't end up working there anymore. So hi, Lori Metcalf.
I really liked you in Lady Bird, though.
I know. Oh, I was so bummed. Actually, we had tickets. I guess Roseanne was here on Monday. We got back from Vegas and we crashed, and I had tickets to see her. She was talking something with her and Rob Schneider. We're
Okay.
here. Yeah,
okay.
they had some event going on, and
Because I think he lives here now.
he does.
Yeah.
And I was super bummed because we had tickets to that, and we drove back for the night before from Vegas, and like I lost a whole day, and I don't know what happened, but I can't party like I used to party. We didn't really party. I went out there and I did a show, but I think I had 2 cocktails, and I'm still recovering from it. It's like, what happened?
I know. It's not like when we were young.
I know. And I think I started early. My friends were like 25 when I was 18, so that was the problem.
Okay.
And I went to high school briefly. It's how I know the guys who own the studio. I went to Park City High School.
Oh.
Where we have the Sundance Film Festival, and there's a lot happening.
Oh, Park City's
and
cool.
They hook it up. They will get us the in on like showing us the. Have you ever been to Park City? It's amazing.
I've been. Is Park City kind of really close to where the Olympics were?
Yes, that's exactly where they were.
We had
in Utah.
Yeah, we had one of the firms I used to work with. They had a getaway there. It was
cool.
Beautiful.
Yes,
it was.
My first apartment was next to that ski jump park thing.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
We
went. Because we went on this getaway. I want to say it was like a September timeframe, and they had a thing where you could like ride the bobsled, just like they rigged it up so you could ride it.
Oh, in the summer you're talking about?
Without the snow. Yeah, it was great. It was really cool.
The what they call the Alpine. They called it the Alpine slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
really scary because it's a concrete and it's
my God, that's giving me a flashback because when I think again, Sarah, I don't know that it was you. I think it might have been you when you hated me. It was during the 1992 Winter Olympics, right? It was that in some part of France, and I was in Greenwich Village, and I was trying to do this joke about the luge.
Oh,
and it bombed, and Sarah Silverman did not like. Oh, she rolled her eyes. There were daggers. Again, I don't know, Sarah. I don't know that for sure. It was you,
probably,
but I think it might have been.
I want to say it was.
And it did not go well.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I'm just saying the luge is a cruel mistress. Joke wise, you have to. You can't just wing it. You gotta
have a solid.
You bring that luge joke to workshop.
We gotta work on it.
We're gonna fix it. We're
still working on it.
Punch it up.
That's actually really fun. Do you have any shows coming up?
I do.
I haven't seen you besides the Crack Up shows where you're hosting. I never get to see you perform.
Yeah, I haven't been performing as much because I've been focusing on the business. But it just so happens like this Friday I am hosting Crack Ups.
Yay.
At I want to say Toso's. And then I'm doing a Christmas party. Like I'm the entertainment at the party.
I just got excited.
Night.
See how sparkly I am? I went,
yeah.
He said party, and I got a little twinkle.
Yeah, at the party. And then next Thursday, I'm at the Purple Turtle, which is Jesse Evers' show.
Fun.
So I'm doing that one.
He rocks some mean yoga pants.
He does.
He does. I want to turn him on to jeggings. I feel like he's really not explored.
I think that's a missed opportunity.
I love them.
Yeah.
Because it looks like I'm wearing pants, but I know the secret.
You've got all kinds of room.
That's what I wear on long flights. I'm just saying.
I love it.
Because I don't want to look like I'm in my jammies, but they feel like you're in your jammies.
You feel like I like that.
But the little pockets really cup things.
Yes.
It's nice.
I like that.
Have you rocked a nice pair of jeggings lately?
I'm not necessarily a jeggings or a yoga pant person.
Really?
But I do like.
I don't do yoga, but I just like the pants.
I like the soft athletic pant.
There you go.
I enjoy that with the stretchy waistband.
Yeah. I don't do yoga, or I haven't worked out in quite a while, clearly. But if the mood hits, I like the flexibility to do so.
Well, I like the clothes that are meant for working out.
Yes.
Because they're very comfortable.
Yes.
And that's where I keep it.
Have you ever done yoga?
I think I might have done it once.
I did it once. It was the worst day ever.
It was like, whatever. I'm like, okay.
The guy had me upside down for the whole damn class. It was like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this can't be healthy. The blood is rushing to my head. I'm turning colors.
What's happening if you're doing that?
I don't know. I don't think he knew what he was doing. It was like a free yoga class at my college. So that should have just told me everything I needed to know right there.
Yeah.
And then they have options where you can do this like hot.
The hot. I have a couple friends who love the hot yoga.
Why do you want? Who wants to sweat in public? I don't believe in sweating in public.
I don't think. I think when you exercise, there should be air conditioning involved.
Yes. Like treadmills with the fan. Great.
The gym I belong to. I do.
do too. I belong to
There's
3.
a gym that takes my money. They have a nice, protein shake bar. This is
That's
where
a great
what I
place
want
to hang out.
to have happening, and
Love that.
granola.
Yes.
Like I like to have that
Yes.
experience.
The massage chairs.
They have massage chairs, and they have a masseuse there.
Oh,
like there's
which
a
one
lot.
do you go to? Is it Lifetime?
No, it's what is it? The
EOS.
The mountain place.
Oh, Mountainside.
Mountainside. I like it very much, but they have all kinds of fun amenities.
They do.
And you can work out.
Yes.
You can do that there. It's an option.
I've tied up their massage chair.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to do 30 minutes, but I'll open one eye, and if no one's waiting, I'll just kind of
keep swiping that. Yeah.
And then they mop around me, and it's like, oh, well, my workout's over. It's time to go home. I was gonna do some cardio, but we're out of time.
Right. You can only fit in so much.
Yeah. So I do the spa version.
Yes.
Lifetime is lovely. I've been to one of those a few days.
Those are good.
They have like a eucalyptus steam room.
Yeah, I like that. And my Mountainside has a nice steam room and a nice sauna.
There you go.
I used to belong to Lifetime because I thought it would be fun for my wife and I to play racquetball.
Yeah.
Because even though I have a very unhealthy BMI, I do enjoy a little racquetball. Because if you hit well, you can hit it back to you.
Yeah.
So
it's better with a friend.
Yeah. So when exactly. So when my wife and I first got together, we were first dating, I was like, would you like to play racquetball with me? She's like, yeah, that'd be great. I said, cool. And so we're playing, and the ball does this thing, and and I'm waiting for her to, and she just goes, and I was like, you okay? What happened there? She goes, oh, I can't do. Well, she's like, I can't do this up high. I'm like, you can't do this?
This is not your sport.
Yeah. She's like, exactly. She's like, yeah. She's like, I had an injury when I was in middle school. I should have.
Why didn't you tell me sooner? We didn't have to wait till we're mid-game.
This is what I'm saying. I was
the
like,
sun was in my eyes.
Why
is that one of those?
Here, like we can't, like this. And so now I've got a problem because I'm 56 years old.
Sure.
Right. I'm coming up on retirement.
Okay.
And
it's a good time.
And all I'm saying is that pickleball is in the future.
I was going to ask you, isn't that the Arizona thing?
It's the whole world thing. Pickleball is like the sport to play in retirement, and so
have a team with other people.
Yeah, no, you can play on your own, or you can play. I want to play doubles with my wife, and so poor Dinah, like
she's gonna be your backup dancer.
30 or 40 years into having this injury, and now I'm gonna make her get surgery.
Yeah,
I'm like, honey, you need.
That's fair.
The surgery, because she said no to the boob job. She's getting a shoulder fixed. This is getting
or
fixed.
Is she open to maybe playing with the other arm?
She's talked about that. I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah,
because of course
it's a very serious sport.
I mean, look at me. Of course, if I play pickleball, we're going to be playing at a competitive level.
Yes, I don't matching tracksuits.
Yeah, I mean, please. I don't think I can have her playing with the less dominant arm.
I don't. Yeah,
not if we're going to qualify in the lesbian pickleball league, which isn't a thing yet, but it's gonna be.
It's gonna be. You're gonna make it one.
The Crack Ups Comedy Night.
The Crack Ups Comedy
Pickleball League. Got that, Saskia? Let's get that Canva poster going.
She's all about it.
She does all the marketing. So Saskia's going to have to come up with a pickleball.
I will attend if you play it at a normal hour. I don't understand people that are up at 4 a.m. I've just never been one of those people.
Oh, I know.
I think it's because Arizona, because it's so hot here.
It does get hot.
I don't think anything good happens before noon.
No.
That's my personal
Unless, if you're up at 4, you need to have been up late. You're not up early.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if I'm up at 4, it's because I haven't gone to bed yet. It's not because I'm up like,
it's on the other
side. I'm catching a flight someplace amazing.
Exactly.
I don't want to be awake at that hour.
No.
It's not to jog around and chase a ball of any sort. So no. I was going to ask some other fun questions for you.
Okay.
And these are just general questions.
General questions
to get to know you. Is your bed made right now?
It is not. However, the funny thing about that, it's not. But I'm a big one I like to make the bed so that we have a nice bed to get into in the evening.
See,
that is something I enjoy.
I enjoy that at hotels. I think I want that lifestyle where someone does it for me.
Yeah.
Because mine is also not made, and there also might be a large Great Dane puppy in it.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
There's always fur babies in there, but
Yes.
Dinah kind of chuckles because it might be a half hour before bedtime,
And you'll make the bed.
and I'll make the bed so we can get into a nice bed. And she
that
finds it
hotel
charming,
feel.
but yeah. So
The
I
hotel vibe.
probably will go home tonight and make the bed, and then we'll get in it 10 minutes later.
That's kind of
Sad.
cute.
It's a
That's
little
kind of
sad.
fun. Do you do that? Do you enjoy a nice hotel because they will come in and do that for you, or you do? Well, you rent places. You said right.
Well, I do verbose, but like we were in a hotel up in Seattle for my
Nice.
firm's party, and I love a nice hotel, and I love
an
that
occasional
pampered.
mint on the
Yeah,
pillow.
I enjoy a
See.
mint on the pillow. This
Yes.
place was great because they had like a little chocolate,
What? Where
a
did
little
you
box
stay?
of chocolates. The Bellevue Club Hotel.
Oh,
in
really?
Bellevue, Washington. Yes.
I must tell you, the Strat Hotel does not have that option.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I mentioned it every episode. It's kind of
Mhm.
my thing.
Right.
They have bats.
Oh,
And one swooped at my head, and I feel the need to mention that every episode
I-
because what the fuck?
I love that.
When have you ever seen bats in your life, let alone, and it was right outside of the comedy club. And
That's
it was dive
crazy.
bombing us, and we had all had cocktails, and we're like, what is going on? Is it the apocalypse? Like, what is going on?
Remember
What is going on?
Remember Goonies?
Yes, we just watched it 2 days ago. I cried a little.
Rabies! Martha
Yes.
Plimpton. God, I
Yes.
love that woman.
Yes. Okay. You know how I know I was super hormonal? It was on in the room in Vegas, and I started crying as I saw the guy chained up in the basement, and I was like, "That's
Yes.
so mean." And my husband's laughing at me. He's like, "Are you crying at the Goonies right now?" I was like,
Oh
"I
my
think
God.
something's wrong with me."
my ex-partner with whom I had my child,
Yes.
Paula, before we had the baby, I kid you not, we were watching Time Cop with
Oh.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That is not a sad movie.
It's not a sad movie, but there is this part where he's missing his wife, and I look over and Paula's like,
You're
I'm
crying
like,
over Time
oh my
Cop?
God, you're crying at Time
Wow.
Cop. And all I'm saying is that even though it was
it's not The Notebook.
meant to be a touching scene, I don't know that
Yes.
Jean-Claude would emote what is necessary for the cry.
That guy did
But there she
no.
was.
That
But there she
guy.
was.
That guy. Unless you
Buns
watch
of
him.
Steel, but
Yes.
did not make me cry.
Is he the one with the weird run, or am I thinking of Steven Seagal? Who's got the weird jog?
Steven Seagal, there's like nothing fun or sexy about him. But I think Jean-Claude was fun. He was a lot of fun.
Yes.
It just, it ran its course. But
Yes.
he was Time Cop.
All right, well, dudes aren't your thing, but if they were, who would be your male celebrity crush?
Jason Momoa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
here's the thing.
He's shiny.
He's big.
He is muscly.
It's so funny because when it comes to men, I want him big. I want him like
very masculine.
very masculine,
Yes.
like just shy of a caveman.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like very prominent
He
brow.
does have a prominent brow.
I want a
The
big,
long hair.
muscly.
So did you like Fabio in the 90s? Was that?
Fabio was cute. Who did
Okay.
I like in the 90s? Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, okay.
I liked
Rocky.
him, even though I liked darker hair, but Dolph had the pecs going.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Wasn't a big talker. I appreciate that about him.
I like him quiet.
He just mostly made like
he growled. He went.
he
He
grunted
did that,
big
which
faces.
that was fun.
Yeah, my '90s crush was Pauly Shore, but we won't talk about how that ended because it became a reality.
You dated Pauly Shore?
We did not date. We had a brief, like each other kind of thing.
Oh,
yeah, it didn't end
Pauly
well.
Shore.
It didn't end well. Actually, I just saw him up when I was in Hollywood at.
Oh my
I
God.
had just done a show at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
and I had family with me, and he was performing at Flappers, and they wanted to go.
Oh.
And we went, and I walked in, and I was wearing a sequin jumpsuit that looked like this. And
Okay.
We're not super close anymore, let's just say.
Yeah.
Especially I'm happily married, and we're not really friends. And so I walked in, and it threw off his set for sure. Because
How great!
Couldn't miss me because I was like front and center wearing this outfit
with the silver.
and he did like with the mic, and I was like,
No, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. Yeah, I didn't want to see the weasel, but he showed it to me anyway. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
So yeah, unfortunately, that was my crush. But I liked funny people.
Sure.
Yeah, it was just a weird thing when you have a crush on somebody when you're younger and then you meet them as an adult.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the same, as you had it in your mind.
Right.
Yeah, it was just a
I
shock.
understand that.
It was a bit of a shock.
Yeah, with the weasel or just seeing him?
Well, honestly,
both, maybe?
he doesn't turn the weasel off.
Oh, okay.
But that weasel too. But
Oh, okay. Okay.
Metaphorically and literally.
From what I remember, the weasel can be a bit off-putting.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. I wish I had more of a normal crush, like like Brad Pitt or something
Sure.
like that.
Mhm.
I did meet Matt Damon once. He was lovely.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and
He
then
seems
Scott
like
Wolf was very cute. Do you remember Scott Wolf from Party of Five? He was very cute.
Mm-mm.
Park City is a small town, so you see a lot of
Yeah.
celebrities.
Yeah.
I've had
That
a
makes
bottle of
sense.
wine with Cheech
Cool.
Marin. He's a good time.
Oh, cool.
He
That would
spilled
be.
it. You know what I mean? He was a
Yeah.
good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was a good time. I'm just saying. Here's a fun question. What is your favorite concert you've been to?
My favorite concert that I've been to is Sarah McLachlan
Okay.
because
Why did I not guess that?
I know you were expecting me to
So
say
you love those
Melissa
pet
Etheridge.
adoption videos. You
Yeah.
just sit there and cry.
You thought I was gonna say Melissa, and I love Melissa. In fact,
Those are your top two hitters, aren't they?
Yeah, I had like a backstage pass, and I met Melissa.
Of course you did.
Which was great. She's this big, and
Was she wearing a vest?
She was not.
Okay.
I don't think
I
she
feel
was,
like you got
but she
gypped.
was wearing a very cool shirt, very fun boots, definitely. But it was 1995, so a lot of things I
fun
forgot
boots.
about it. But that was great. But I love her music, but I adore Sarah McLachlan.
Okay.
And in fact, the lady I was dating before my wife,
Okay.
in between marriages, because
Okay.
I've had several.
You had several.
Yeah. I'm like a lesbian Jaja. That's
yeah,
a different
I was gonna
story.
say because you're supposed to be the long. Okay.
Yeah, no, I am a serial long-term commitment woman. But anyway,
Because you're Italian.
Yeah, sure.
I get it.
Exactly. But between two of these commitments, I dated this woman, and everything was just very hot and heavy, very romantic. And then one time I given her Sarah Mac's first Christmas album, which she appreciated.
That's serious.
But I was like, "Oh, this is Sarah McLachlan. You must love Sarah." And she goes, I have to be in the mood for Sarah McLachlan.
Oh, that ended it right there for you.
I was like, get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Worst lesbian ever.
No, worst lesbian ever. And in fact, she had just realized she was a lesbian.
Wow.
And I don't know that all the boxes were checked.
The commitment wasn't there.
No.
Yeah.
How can you not
always
be in the mood for Sarah?
Yeah. That's distinctly.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
At all.
That's definitely.
Yeah.
She missed the main. That was the top of the list, right?
Right. And so then I started dating the lady who became my new wife.
Okay.
And she liked Sarah a lot.
Okay.
She came to the concert with me. She liked it very much. Problem there is, not a big fan of Young Frankenstein.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so sense of humor was lacking.
Well, actually, yeah, Dinah does appreciate comedy. She likes my comedy. But when we were first together, we sat down and watched Young Frankenstein, and she thought it was stupid. I've got to say that's the depth of my love. I was able to get past the not loving Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
that is a 5-star movie.
Have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you have to watch it. Okay, so it's basically they film it in such a way where it's almost like a reality show, and it's vampires that are roommates, but they're vampires from different centuries.
Okay,
it's hilarious. Very funny. Go home and watch it. That's your homework.
I will.
Because when I was single, that was my gauge, because that's how superficial I was. I was so over dating. Mm-hmm. I was like, if they don't find this movie funny, it's just not gonna work out. So I test them with What We Do in the Shadows. My husband, he's here tonight. He loves that movie. So I'm just saying. I checked that box. So not so strong on Sarah, but again, different categories.
True.
Oh, here's a fun one because you travel a lot. Where is the worst place you've ever stayed on vacation, and what was terrible about it?
Oh man,
because think back to your pre-Nespresso, chocolate on the pillow days.
How do you think about that?
Yeah, think about that one for me, because that's
the worst place I ever stayed. I think it was a condo that I rented in Rocky Point.
Oh, down in Mexico.
And I enjoy Mexico. I'm not. I mean, we went to.
But you got to have a good.
You gotta know where you're going. Like we went to the Baja Peninsula twice last summer and had a blast.
I haven't been yet. I've only done places. Playas.
Yeah, I loved it. But I do enjoy Rocky Point, and I love going to Mexico.
Was it a private place that you rented, like an
Yeah,
Airbnb kind of thing?
we rented it. Yeah, it was before. It was a long time ago. It was before we had things like Verbo and reviews. You know, and it was just something I.
So it was
found.
like you were just going on trust and instinct.
Yeah,
that's not
and
good.
There was just nothing good was happening in that condo. There were things dripping. There, yeah.
Oh no!
So it wasn't great, and we
were there
didn't
creatures
stay long.
alive in the condo besides you?
Not so much that, but again,
good.
a couple layers down.
So better than the
there
Strat.
might have been.
Okay.
It was a little weird. And then one time we went camping.
Oh no!
We went.
You're not allowed to say that word on the show.
We went beach camping.
No, there's no nice kind of camping.
Well, see, now I enjoy when I was younger. I can't camp now. I can't sleep on the ground.
On the ground?
No, I can't. But there was a time when I enjoyed that.
This is a scary podcast all of a sudden.
Yeah, it got weird. Oh my God. Let me tell you about. Oh my God. So let me tell you about the time that my wife and I hiked down into the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah.
So and this only happened. There was a time about 4 years ago where I had done Red Mountain Weight Loss, which is a great program. Don't sue me.
I know them too.
It's a great.
I know all the places
program.
around town.
And I was following. It's just very expensive, but I did it. I lost
an extra $500 a month for like diet pills.
That's exactly what I did.
We'll get them at Rocky Point. We're good.
I lost like 80 pounds. Yeah, I was looking svelte.
Great stuff. It's just very. You have just no money left.
It's just so expensive. And then when you get off the diet,
I'd rather be chubby and have more money in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not so caught up in the BMI anymore. But I bring that up to say, like, I had lost a lot of weight and I was working out. And so we decided we were going to hike down the Grand Canyon. Okay. And so we did. And
that sounds intense.
It was so intense. Like we were
and then you stay down there?
Well, that was the idea. We were going to like go down to the bottom and stay at Phantom Ranch, which is the place. Like
so you hike down there.
We hiked down there.
Wow.
And we were about 2 miles into this 9-mile hike, and my knee was like, "Hey, you're 52." Like this happened about 4 years
ago.
And so I kind of got a little wobbly. So we were going down, and finally, like my wife just kind of went ahead. I said, and
she left you behind.
Well, not exactly.
Remember that.
What happened was
remember that in the will. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Well, shit got weird, and like I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to the bottom.
Oh,
and so about 2 miles out,
and she's ahead. So
well, my wife runs marathons for fun. You know what I mean? Like she runs. So I said, look, honey, did
you ignore that box that was checked off too?
No, because I mean, her legs and her ass are kicking it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, she puts up with my BMI, but she looks great. But anyway, I was like, look, babe, I said, go ahead. And I said, and you're going to need to tell them that I'm in distress. Like I knew I was in trouble.
Oh, you were that person.
Yeah, I was that person. I was the asshole who did it like and didn't train enough. So I'm like walking. I
wouldn't think about that either. I'd be like, oh, it's just a beautiful little trail.
Well,
and then you get stuck and you're like, oh.
Miles. And understand this. I did train. Like I was doing, the Go John Trail, which is like a 6.5 mile trail in Cave Creek. I did the Tom Thumb thing. Like I was doing stuff and I thought I was ready. No. But clearly I wasn't.
You were not ready.
So I was like 2 miles shy and I said, babe, just go and tell them I'm out here. Tell them I'm in trouble.
Down for the count.
Yeah. So I'm walking along. And, I'm walking along. And all these people, like these kids, were like bringing me cereal. They would go down to their campsite.
That's just pitiful.
And they'd go 2 miles from the campsite.
Hiding in the shade of a
grab snacks and run them up to the middle-aged heavy woman. And I'm like,
you need a snack, lady.
Yeah, I'm eating Frosted Flakes. They're bringing me water. They were so sweet, so sweet. So I'm walking along.
Did you feel guilty when you ate the Frosted Flakes?
Not at all. I would have probably knocked him over the head for a granola bar at that point. So I'm walking along and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm in trouble out here. So all of a sudden this ranger comes, this wonderful lady, and she said, "Are you Maureen?" And I was like, "Uh-huh." And she said, "Hi, I'm here to help you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And we sat down and she started giving me water and all this stuff. And so we started walking and I was complete and utter muscle failure. So then I started like just scooting on my butt, like scooting down because everything was downhill.
Butt scooted the Grand Canyon. I'm butt with your canyon.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I'm butt scooting the canyon. And finally I said, I have nothing left in me. I said, can I sleep out here? And she said, yes, you can sleep out here. And I said,
That's
okay,
probably the
good.
only way I'd end up camping is if
Yeah.
like I had some sort of muscle failure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like that or helicopter me out, you know. So I was like,
no.
I've
seen that happen to people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought
La
I was
Jolla
going to be
Shores, it
that
happens.
asshole.
Do you know La Jolla Shores in San Diego? People try to, it's like a cliff people have to climb down to get to this nude beach thing.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know what's more embarrassing, that you're stuck on a cliffside or that you're also naked. And
Naked,
gotta, like, chopper you out of
They chopper you naked out of
I'm glad you warned me, though, because we wanted to go to Grand
worse.
Canyon. And
get the mule. Ride the mule.
I was going to ask why you didn't have a mule. You had one in Palermo.
Exactly. Well, and what happened was, I was like, I stayed out there overnight.
No.
And they set me up with the little the mat and the thing and the sleep bag and a blanket.
In a makeshift little tent.
Yeah, but she's like, okay, Maureen, I need you to just go up that incline up to that plateau over there. And I said,
wow.
No. I said, there's a hole right there. I said, I could curl up right. And she's like, no, I need you up there. I literally crawled up that incline. And the funny thing was I had just gotten a manicure. So I was watching my manicure go up the hill.
Dirty hill.
Yeah, on that dirty hill. Yeah. And they got me all tucked in. And while we were getting my
you sound like a great tour guide, by the way.
Oh, I can show you a good time. I can show you a good time. So we're setting me up, and her and this other ranger came up to help the invalid. And this kid comes around the corner, and he's like, guys, you're not going to believe this. It was so cool. I just saw a mountain lion. I was like,
and you're the food.
Of course you did. I thought I'm going to be spooning a fucking mountain lion out here. Trying. So yeah, I thought for sure.
Were you there by yourself all night?
Oh yeah.
Did they give you like a little fire and like a?
No. They gave me
a little tent
a lot of thermo stuff. Like I got a thermomat and a sleeping bag and a blanket. But it was so cold because this was in February, by the way. So I picked like a month that will kill you. It will kill you.
The worst time to go.
And so I was sleeping there, and like the mat, you'd get so cold.
Oh no.
That I was like a hamburger all night. It was like, okay, time to flip.
That's not helping your muscle failure.
No, I'm like, I would sleep and I'd wake up from the cold, and then I'd flip onto my stomach and sleep and wake up from the cold.
I'm so glad you warned me, because we were gonna go, and my husband hinted about doing some hiking, and we're gonna just drive by or look at a postcard like
just
I did in the 80s.
Look down, maybe get the helicopter, fly over. And you asked me why I didn't get them, because I was like, oh, there's mules. Can I get a mule out of here? And see, what happened was I was doing the Red Mountain weight loss, and I lost the 80 pounds. Well, before I went on this hike, I'd put 20 back on, and I was too heavy for the mule.
That sucks.
I was too heavy for the goddamn mule.
That's not a good feeling.
No. So we hiked our asses out of there.
And did they even ask the mule? I mean, how do they know? That's all I'm saying.
I could have negotiated something.
I mean, yeah. Well, our time is just about up.
Oh, is it?
Yes, because we chatted so much about our lovely travel experience.
Okay.
But I wanted to remind everybody how they can follow you and on your social media, and how they can do your workshop again before we go.
Yeah. Follow us on Crack Ups Comedy Night on our Facebook page as well as Instagram. And we always announce the shows. We'll have advertisements for our workshop, because we are moving our workshop to downtown Phoenix, so it'll be much more convenient for folks.
There you go.
So we're locking down that location. So
nice.
we're taking a hiatus from workshop until January 8th.
Okay.
So then we'll be downtown. So come play with us there.
Very cool.
Just check out Crack Ups Comedy Night, Facebook and Instagram for all our show posters. And yeah.
And definitely not going to have anything at the Grand Canyon. So thank you for the warning.
Yeah, don't go to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, people die there for a reason. Oh, it's scary. All right. Thank you for being on the show. This has been Maureen Lombardo on the Lauren Rachel Talk Show. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for warning me about the hike I'm definitely not taking.
Watch out for the mountain lions.
All right. Good night. Great show.
That was fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for warning me about that, because we honestly were about to go.
Actually, all jokes aside, you guys, it was, even that night where I slept out, I loved it, because like I was like all covered up, and I would peek out, and all you could see was a sea of stars, no noise pollution, and I was like, because you can't just sleep out in the canyon. They don't let you.
Oh.
But because I was in distress, I got to do that, and
Oh,
it
there you
was
go.
one of the
So it
most
was a
magic.
perk.
It was one of the most magical
It was a
experiences.
perk of the failure.
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
The
My
one
wife was
time-
ready to kill me.
I bet she had to leave you miles behind.
She was worried, and she's like, "I told you you didn't train enough." As
They
soon as
should have
she
brought like a little wagon to pull you in.
I think so. As soon as she knew I wasn't going to die, I got that. You should have trained more. Oh my God! I can't believe you put me through that. Yeah.
Well, the one time I ever
Oh.
went camping, it was like an accidental camping. I was supposed to be going to some sort of like party in the woods.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then the people that brought us to the
Kids
woods
like
were
doing
drinking, and so then we ended up camping.
Yeah, because
none of the supplies
sort of stuck out there.
Yes, we were.
Oh, thank you. It was lovely.
You're
It was
welcome.
nice to have that.
Where'd you go in the Baja?
We spent one weekend in Rosarito and another weekend in Ensenada, and just adored